Today's vlog is going to be a little bit different than the norm because today is a very special day.
4 years ago, I blessed Jessica with my marriage.
Whatever.
Gave her my last name, made an honest woman out of her.
Okay, well, that's his version. June 27th, 2015.
I think so. I'm concentrated on trout fishing right now.
Yeah, so we're in North Carolina. Braxton's family on his dad's side is from North Carolina. We try to come up here at least once a year. But yeah, it's beautiful country and he is dying to be trout fishing right now. So in honor of our anniversary, we thought we would answer some questions, common questions and some new questions that we've been asked lately through our social platforms about us as a couple. So let's get started.
All right, you tell me the questions and I'll answer them truthfully.
Okay, what's the first question? We gotta talk kind of loud.
Why the trailer life and not a house?
Well, I feel like we should first talk about where we met.
Well, this is the first question. We're answering them down the list.
Okay. Why the trailer life and not a house?
We're both pretty adventurous and like to just go. And financially, the trailer house and the way we like to live, we're never inside, so we didn't need a big house. We talked about building a barn dominium and living in it, and the trailer just kind of fits us better, you know. We literally sleep there at night, so we're not very fancy. We love to be in the woods. We don't need nothing, you know, extremely nice, just something comfy and homey. And it allows us to get away financially and not have to worry about, you know, a house taken care of, or who's going to watch the house, or all the things that come with the house also come with the trailer, but in definitely a smaller portion. So it just fit our lifestyle better, and it allows us to go on these hunting trips and adventures that we want to do since we're young, married couple, and still able to.
Pretty much. I'm actually going to attach either in the description or maybe in the top right hand side of the screen. I wrote a blog article about this decision that we made because it was not an easy one, but it's actually been probably one of my favorite decisions we've made as a couple. And I don't know, like the whole tiny living, simple living movement, it has been it's just been really cool to simplify our life and get rid of the excess. We had so much stuff that was just in storage or in cabinets tucked away in closets that were never touched. We never used them, and you just figure out real quick what you need and don't need in life, especially being an adventurous couple and, you know, hunting with limited things. It just opens up your eyes a lot. So I don't know how long we'll do it. I love it. I really love it more and more every single day. I don't know how long we'll do it. I imagine one of these days we'll have a house, but we have zero plans to build a house at this point.
Second question, how'd y'all meet? You can start it. I'll fill in on things that you don't say truthfully.
So in our hometown area, we were both born and raised in Temple. We commuted to small town high schools that were competitors. I just want to preface the whole thing with, I've always known who Braxton Byers was. He was a high school hotshot. He always broke records in sports. All the girls loved him. I had friends that dated him.
They still don't?
I had friends that dated him. I had friends that wanted to date him. I never fell into either of those categories because he was not a very good person in high school. And that is the truth. I wanted nothing to do with him. I didn't care if I ever shook his hand, but I knew who he was. And we were at so in our hometown area, Temple, Belton area, or I like to call it Belton, America, we have a barbecue place called Shuff's Barbecue that puts on a summer series of Texas country concerts, and live concerts are like, I'm obsessed. I go to concerts all the time. So I was there every Thursday night pretty much, and I was having a girls' night with two of my best friends, Melissa and Stephanie, and he was out with his friends, and right after that, it's tradition to leave the concert and go to a bar down the road called Bo's Barn off 93 in Belton, Texas. And we met right when, like, he walked in with a mutual friend, and I walked in behind him, and I went to go say hi to that mutual friend. He introduced us. It was a very interesting introduction because, like I said, I didn't have much respect for him. So
We've been together ever since.
and we've been together ever since. So, I mean, that's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
We
Yeah.
met at a bar with friends, and I don't know how long ago, how old I was, 25, 24.
And he never went out. Like, it was very normal for me to be out going to concerts and dancing with my girlfriends. It was very unlike him to be out. So it's kind of weird that we ever met. He never went to those concerts, and he never went to the bar. It just wasn't his scene. I didn't pay him much attention at the beginning, but by the end of the
I don't
night,
remember it that way. She was on me from the time she shook my hand. I couldn't beat her off.
No. Should we reenact when you introduce yourself?
No.
I think we should.
I was drinking. I don't remember.
Oh my God.
Third question. What has been the greatest and toughest part of your marriage?
I don't know what your opinion is. I mean, we've had a few rough patches, I would say.
Yeah, I don't really have a roughest part, and not to say because my wife's sitting here, but I think marriage is what you want it to be. You know, there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times. We have our bad times, but we love each other through the good and the bad, and you work things out together. So I don't really have a bad time. I would say the greatest part of it has been, you know, just the adventure and her bringing out the adventurous side in me and getting me out of my ways, stretching the limits. It's really opened my eyes to the world, and it's a lot of fun to learn and push yourself to do things that you have dreamed of, but you just needed a little push to get out there and do it. And Jessica's been that for me. You know, she's pushed me to be in the mountains, to live a healthier lifestyle, to want to be a better man, a better husband, a better person. So that's really fun to look back just in these short 4 years that we've actually been married, and who she's pushed me to grow, who I wanted to be, but just needed that little extra push. And it's been really fun seeing the changes in me in the last 4 years because of her.
I think definitely the greatest thing for us has been,
There was a trout just jumped.
I've missed every single trout that's jumped, every single one of them. I think the greatest thing for me has been overcoming obstacles. That sounds super cliche, but
Well, and yours is overcoming obstacles together because you're such an independent person.
that's actually a really great point. So honestly, so that kind of combines the toughest and the greatest. So toughest thing, I'm very independent. My dad raised all of his girls to be really, really, really strong, really independent. I don't always feel strong. I don't always feel independent, but overall, I would say, like, anybody that knows me would describe me that way, and it's almost to a fault. Very much I don't I don't need a man mentality. Like, I always wanted to, like, be the woman that could do it all herself, and the truth is I can, but now I've met someone where I don't want to, and that's been really cool. But it is challenging. You know, he gets to a point where he has to put his foot down because I'm so strong and set in how I want to do it, and very much like my way or the highway, until I know he's pretty lax, like probably the most chill person I've ever met in my life. But when he puts his foot down, I know he's not kidding, and I need somebody like that, who, you know, supports me wholeheartedly, but also knows how to call me out and tell me when I'm wrong.
Well, you need someone who understands that. As you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to let them fail to better herself. If I tell her she can't do it in some things, she's going to try to prove me wrong. And I'm not she takes it sometimes, and I think women do too, is that we're men and we're telling them this macho type deal, but it's really not that way. It's just looking out for each other, and marriage is a lot of fun to me. I mean, would you agree? If you 4 years ago when we were talking about getting married, I didn't know what to expect like everybody else, but it's been a great challenge and a great adventure. You know, everything that's worth something, somebody had to work for. So
You gotta fight for it, yeah. So yeah, toughest thing I would say is how independent I am, but also the greatest thing is having someone that can that's strong,
let you go, and
lets me go and pulls me back when I need to be pulled back. And I will say that it takes a very, very strong man to deal with me. Whew. I'm not too proud to say that. Anyway, yeah, that's
marriage is
nutshell.
great, guys. I love every day of it.
I want to make sure this is still filming because we're kind of winging it.
Who's the better shooter?
You are. I mean, you've been doing it since you were 8.
I've kind of taught Jessica in the ways that not my ways are the best ways, but I've taught her how I do it, so we kind of, work good together. But I got a lot of years in shooting a bow on her, but I'll tell you, she's coming along. Women are better shot than men, hands down, proven fact. It's written down and signed. They are just better shots than men. And as today, when you ask this question, I'm probably the better shot, especially at long yardages, but I also have 10 plus years of shooting a bow on Jessica. But I can honestly say, from day one when I started to this is your 6th year shooting a bow? 6 or 7
almost
years.
7, yeah.
She has definitely progressed and improved faster than I did from day 1 to year 6. So
No. It's a tick.
I got ticks
A
crawling.
big old. It was huge. Well, I don't know. I think that's how big they normally are here,
Yeah.
but not where we're from.
So right now I'm the better shot, especially at longer distances, but she's catching me in a hurry, so I need to practice. What would be your ultimate dream hunt together?
I think we've already been on one. And
Australia was amazing. The memories.
we didn't hunt a whole lot together in Australia, though. We did a lot of solo, like by ourselves. But just to be able to come back to camp and talk about it and see his success, he freaking came back with a lot. I mean, he was literally living his dream. I got to see a little bit, but we split up to increase our odds, and it worked out good. He got two animals, and I got 3.
Yeah, I got 3.
And you got 3?
I shot that chocolate doe.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
So that was awesome, but we weren't together so much. I would say
Together, it's coming up.
this year, yeah.
We're gonna be in the back. We're gonna be all around Montana chasing elk, but for most part of it, we will be in the backcountry of Montana together, having to deal with each other and not being able to get away from each other and take care of each other. So
Yeah, that might be that might be our biggest obstacle when it's said and done.
I'm really looking forward to it. It's not just a dream hunt; it's a dream trip as well. Being in the backcountry and trying to accomplish a goal is both of our goals, and taking a bull elk. But taking a bull elk is going to be the icing on just a little piece of the learning and growth we're going to have between each other in the wilderness, and it's very exciting. So that's probably a dream hunt in what I look for in a hunt all around, not just hunting one specific animal, but that's what I'm looking for now in a hunt.
And we both have a tag.
And like anybody, that dream hunt changes, so right now it's Montana backcountry, and we're be there in a few months. Looking forward to it. Do you have any experience with target panic and getting over it? Well, I just 3 days ago told Jessica I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting just ticked off. She's been out of town shooting, and I try to shoot arrows every day, and my groups have not been as tight at further distances as I like them to be, and I know I'm doing something wrong, but I'm overthinking my equipment, I'm overthinking myself, and I believe it's target panic. That's my only experience with it. Usually I didn't really know a whole lot about it because I could pull my bow and usually do pretty good. You know, you have your off days, your on days, but the last few days I shot my bow, I could really feel myself, you know, anticipating the shot. And Jessica's experienced it
A
to
long time ago.
a bigger degree than what I have. So
I
she
started
could
doing-
probably tell you more about it, but getting over it is just getting back to the basics. I'm telling myself when I'm drawing my bow, don't overthink the situation. You know, don't try to hold that pin right on that bullseye dot. Let that pin get there, relax and release. Don't try to be too perfect and work above and beyond what you have to do to be a good archer.
For me, what really helped to get over anticipating the shot and like getting super nervous when my pin was floating across the target is to get up close to the target and get down on your knees right in front of the target and blind bell shoot. Like literally draw, close your eyes, and pull through your shot. So you don't know when it's going off. You don't see where it hits. You don't care where it hits because you can't care where it hits. That was some of the best advice given to me, and I would just do that over and over again. And honestly, I don't remember the next step. There's tons of articles on target panic that from people way more advanced than me. I mean, like you said, I've only been shooting between 6 and 7 years, so I definitely don't have it all figured out or want to pretend that I do. But that helped me tremendously just to get back to the basics of form and not giving a crap where that arrow ends
And a
up.
good one, if you're not shooting X's at, you know, shooting paper, and we don't do that a lot. We shoot foam and we hunt for animals. So what I've noticed, and I've preached to Jessica ever since she's been bow hunting because she's a perfectionist, if you're having target panic, but here's the dot you're hitting, which is just say an inch around, and you're hitting an inch to the left at 50 yards or 60 yards, well, put up a Glendale buck or a solo target or whatever you have, put one up and shoot that target, and guess what? You just killed that animal. Very lethal shot. I mean, and that relaxes your mind and frees a lot up for me. Let me put our solo target up and let me shoot this. And in my mind, I might have hit an inch left, but in my mind, I just killed that animal ethically. And
yeah, getting caught up shooting X's and dots will ruin you. That's my opinion. I'm not a target archer. There's a lot of pressure, especially when you're on social media, of people like when they are shooting X's at 60, and I'm like, sometimes I can't even shoot one at 20, and that's okay. Like at the end of the day, if you're able to hit vitals, I mean, there's gonna be people that argue with me, but if you're hitting vitals, give yourself some grace because
our goal is to kill that animal.
Yeah, I mean,
as quickly and ethically as possible. And if you're hitting an inch left and you're beating yourself up about it, that deer on an inch left shot is probably going to die just as fast as if you hit right where that pin was setting. So don't beat yourself up about it and just try to overcome.
If I can find some good target panic articles, I'll drop them in the description as well. Keep taking questions throughout the day. Our service is terrible, but as I get more questions, I'll make a list and maybe do part 2, part 3. We'll see. Just depends on what you guys ask us and what you're wanting to know. Thank y'all for these suggestions.
Thanks, guys.